Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is David, and in this video I'm going to show you how to play the game Kimono Memories. And I can do so with thanks to Dutch publisher White Goblin Games, who provided this copy. And in this two-player game you are both a photographer and you're trying to score the most points for your photo album that contains pictures of women in kimonos. So please let me show you how it's played. Actually, there are 4 ways to play this game. The normal full version, which I'm going to explain first. Then there's a basic version. You can add a quick win condition and you can play it solo. But the solo part I'm going to make a separate video for where I'm going to play it solo. Let's start just with the full version. Both players will get a starting card. In the older version there was a basic side and an advanced side. In this version there are only basic versions. So one player will be taking the black photo camera symbol and the other player will take the white one. You can also see on the board there are black symbols and white symbols. And you put this one in between the players. There are 5 tracks on them. This track is worth 3 points. This track is worth 7 points. And you will compete on these tracks to have the Japanese tokens on your side of the board in order to score the most points at the end of the game. We have a deck of cards that has all kinds of colors of Japanese women in kimonos, and there are also 5 items in the deck which will score you points at the end of the game based on the items that are present on the pictures of the kimonos you've taken. So you're gonna randomly distribute these cards along the board and you place the photographer marker with the camera next to one of those cards on either side of the card with the camera. So in this case maybe over here. I'll place it face down so you have a better look. And then basically you're ready to start, and when it's your turn you're gonna add a picture to your photo album. You're gonna move 1, 2 or 3 cards and you take the card that you last passed over. So maybe I take this card. Then first thing you do, because you take a green card, you get to move the pawn of green 1 step towards you. So in this case over here. And then you're gonna add the photo to your album and you're gonna place it either on the left side or on the right side of your album. And later on you can also place it on top of 2 cards below it. But for now you have to place it on one of the other sides, either to the left or to the right. So I'm gonna place it over here. And then you're gonna check if you match the symbols that are on the sides of the cards. So in this case here is purple and here is blue. What I have matched, this is a joker symbol, so you can place any color next to it and you will score the color bonus. Or you can place a cat to it. And you see the joker symbol is also a square symbol. So now I've completed a cat. So I can take a cat symbol and place it over here. Cat symbols will be worth points at the end of the game. If you have 1 cat symbol you will score 1 point, but if you have 2 of them you will score 2 times 2 is 4 points. Collect 3 of them, you will score 3 times 3 is 9 points, and so on. Then you refill the offer and it's the next player's turn. It is okay if it's your turn and I take this card. Again I go forward on green. To place a card that doesn't match the color of the symbols on the sides of the cards, I can place it over here. There's not even a symbol on this card, so no bonus. But I can also place this purple symbol next to this blue symbol. I simply will not score a bonus movement. But in a later turn, maybe I take this card. I will get 1 pink. Then I place it over here and now I match blue against blue. So I will also move 1 step towards me on the blue track. And so we're going back and forth on all 5 of these tracks by taking a card of that color or by matching the symbols of that color. And you can put a token of that color on the cards just as a reminder, and then later at the end of the game you can simply count the tokens you have for each color to see who has the most. But since you're already moving ahead on this track, these tokens don't really matter, I think. But like I said, you can always also go, you're gonna build kind of a pyramid, because we have those symbols on the cards also that matches the color of the symbol. But at the end of the game, each symbol visible on the bottom row of your photo album will be worth 1 point. But each symbol visible on the second row will be worth 2 points. So if I buy this card, I can maybe say, well, I can't match it anywhere, so I'm going to place it on top of 2 other cards over here. And now this symbol is worth 2 points. You cannot place a card on top of only 1 card. It has to be on 2 of them together. So in order to go to the third row, I first have to place a card over here. And now I can say I'm going to place a card on top of this one, of these 2. It's better, if you can manage to do so, to have the symbols both on the outside, so when you place this card on top, you don't cover up any other symbols. So now I have 1 visible symbol on the bottom row is 1 point, I have 2 visible symbols on the second row, and this symbol is visible on the third row, so it will be worth 3 points. So that's why you want to go build up. Basically, that's the game. Oh, I almost forgot something with the setup. You have to place 2 cards out of the deck, and you're going to place them over here in a victory pile. I'll get to that in a later moment. But there are, like I said, also 5 item cards in the deck. Let's have one over here. You simply add them to your photo album on either side. They do have a joker symbol. But at the end of the game, they will score you 2 points, in this case for each umbrella that the models are wearing. And there are item cards for each symbol. Unfortunately, this model doesn't wear anything special, but this one has the umbrella symbol, so you can see it both on the artwork and on the symbol above the number of the card. So if I build this card, if I take this picture, at the end of the game I will score 2 points for it, because I have the umbrella item. So the models can wear 5 different items, and for each item there's an item scoring card in the deck. So play continues, and when there are gaps you still get to move 1, 2 or 3 cards. It's not steps, it's the cards that you move. Once there are only 2 cards left, the game will end, and the 2 cards remain will also go to this deck you set aside at the start of the game. And then we're gonna check scores, but things can still change. We don't know for sure who's the winner yet. Maybe it ends up like something like this. Then we're gonna check from left to right, so starting with the lowest points, 3 points up to 7 points, who has the majority, or on which side of the track the token is. So in this case the opponent will win this one, so the opponent will score this token that is worth 3 points. And because he has won one row, he will get to take 1 card from this victory pile. You can take any one you want, and again you take the card. Then you still get to move the marker towards your side 1 step, and maybe again you can make a match. So the player takes the blue card, gets to move blue 1 space, and he completes a yellow symbol, maybe, so he will score yellow. I'm going to keep this over here for the explanation. When there's a tie, nothing happens, no scoring tokens, and nobody can take a card from this victory pile. This one also win by the opponent, so he will score the blue token, which is worth 5 points. Again, he can take a card, but if he takes this card, the yellow pawn will not move anymore, because we already scored yellow. But maybe he can make another match of purple, something like that. So this one's gone. Then I have one on this track, so I get the green token. I will score 6 points and get to get 1 card, so I'll take the green one. Doesn't really matter because green doesn't move anymore, but I can place it over here to score another cat token, because I completed a cat symbol. And this one isn't scored because no one has won. So scoring is not final until we've completed all 5 of these tracks. Then you're gonna score the points for your item cards in your album. So you're gonna check how many cards do I have where the Japanese model has a umbrella. Well, that wasn't good because in this case only 1. But of course, if you have this card, try maybe, if possible, to collect more photographs that has the umbrella. I know it's not an umbrella, it's against the sun, so in Dutch we call it a parasol. I don't know what it's in English. A sunscreen, something like that. Like I said, points for your cat tokens. In this case I have 2, so 2 times 2 is 4. And finally we're gonna score the points that are visible on the cards based on the row in which they are in. So bottom row, 1 point for each colored symbol visible. Second row, 2 points. 2 points for each symbol visible. Third row, 3 points for each symbol, and so on. And you can go as high as you want, as long as you place 1 card on top of 2 adjacent cards in your photo album. And then whoever has the most points is of course the winner. Should there be a tie, then the player who has a combined total of items and cat tokens, who has the most of them, that player will win the game. So maybe that's another reason to try to collect those cat tokens and item cards. And if that's still a tie, well, then you have to play again. But these are short games, so that wouldn't be a problem, I think. And that is how you play the full version of Kimono Memories. There is a sudden victory condition you can add to the game. Whenever one player has 2 of these tokens in the bottom 2 lines of the scoring track, that player has an instant win. So 2 pawns on the bottom 2 rows on your side of the board, instant win, which sometimes might force you to buy a card you don't really want, but you need to move that token away. But you can only have your instant win during the game itself, not when the game has ended and we're gonna score and then move around. Then you can't score the instant victory anymore. Then you also can play a very basic version of the game. In that case, you're gonna remove all the scoring tokens, so the tokens you got from winning the tracks, they go out of the game. Also, you do not make a victory pile offer of those cards, 2 cards and another 2 cards at the end of the game. We don't do that. In that case, you're simply gonna check whoever has the most pawns on his side of the board. In this case, it's 3 for me, 2 for the other, so I have 1. That's it. No other scoring, no points for cat tokens or item cards, simply who has the most pawns on his side of the track. Should there be a tie, then again you're gonna check whoever has the most item cards and cat tokens together, then that player will win. So that is the basic, easy version of the game. Finally, you can play it solo, then you're gonna compete with Fanny, another photographer, who will also take cards from the offer, and you'll have to outscore her. And I will show you how to do so in the next video when I'm gonna play a solo game of Kimono Memories. But that is how you play Kimono Memories for 2 players. Trying to build the best scoring photo album by taking cards. Taking the card will give you 1 step on the color of the card, but also matching symbols on the side of the card will give you additional steps on these tracks. And gonna try to get those symbols towards your side of the board to score points, or in the easy version simply to win the game straight away. Thanks again to White Goblin Games for having me this copy. If you have any questions about this game, please feel free to ask them in the comments below. My name is David, thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.